Well, we are live. Hey, everybody. Folks, how you doing? Happy Friday and happy Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. A lot of folks don't know what Cinco de Mayo is really all about. And most of you guys are going to say that Cinco de Mayo, well, duh, Lester, it's just like our July 4th. It's our Independence Day, but for Mexico, it's their Independence Day. And that is not true. That is not true at all. If I were, if I had been, give me one moment because this is what we're not going to do is sit there and play that phone game. Every time you try to go live, somebody thinks how it's just the most clever thing ever to jump in and, hey, babe, can you do me a favor? Can you go to my YouTube and go to the old, just type in Battle of Puebla, Lester's Place, and screen record a snippet of that and then airdrop it to my computer here. I am going to actually play something for you all that I think that you'll really enjoy. This goes back, this is years and years and years ago, back when I taught elementary school. And what I did was me and my students did a reenactment. The reason why we celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and it's not Mexican Independence Day. So just to set the record straight, if you think that it's because that's when Mexico won its independence from Spain, that is not the case. I'm going to actually, if I can get Jamie to help me on this, I did not think about it ahead of time. I'm going to play something for you, and you're going to get to see some kids perform a skit that I think might be the funniest skit of all time. I really do hope that Jamie can find this. I will talk about a couple of other things while we're waiting. There's a lot going on or at the Plum Grove property. Man, guys, I don't know where to start with having to. I can't find the words to help everyone understand what's going on. All I can say is that there are people who are freaking out and going crazy, and we're getting some of the meanest emails and handwritten letters, and we'll talk more about that. But listen, I don't want to start off on a negative note. I want to keep this Cinco de Mayo thing going, and I hope that Jamie can help me out. Listen, I'm also going to invite a special guest. I'm going to invite a special guest. I don't want to say that guest name right now. Some of y'all may already know who I'm going to invite, but I'm going to send them a link. So I'm going to put that link into the comments. But remember, this link is only for my special guest, and this person knows who they are. So special guest, if you're in the green room, and I hope that you are, or I'm sorry, if you're in the lobby with everybody else and you're reading comments, I'm going to put over here on into the comments a link. How do I do that? Control what? Someone help me. Is it control V? Control Command V? Command V is what it is on an I. There we go. Okay, so no one else is going to jump in. No one else. I'm waiting for one person to click that link. Oh my God, that was fast. I am baffled. Oh, how in the world did she do that so fast? Yes, it is a she. Guys, I want to introduce you to someone who's been instrumental in so very much of the success that we've found in, I'm just going to say, life in general. But it hasn't always been easy. And I was going to wait and do this on Mother's Day. But you know what? With no further ado, let me introduce to everybody my mama. That's my mama.
Hi,
Hey, Mom.
guys.
Hey, so I'm curious, how come you entered your name instead of entering your new channel, which is what we're going to promote and push right now? Because what you could have done is signed in as Chat with Gigi, and people could have had an instant link to find your channel on Facebook. Didn't think about that, did you?
No, I did not. It just said enter your email, so I entered it, and I was like so nervous. Then I had to put my glasses on, and then I could see, and then it said I'm entering. So then I get all perky, and then it tells me to enter something else, and I'm thinking I'm not gonna be able to do this.
I'm trying to find a way to make you bigger and me smaller, and I don't know how to actually do that. So we're kind of in a split screen. I don't know how it looks on your. Are you on your phone?
I'm on my phone.
Okay, so you have a phone and you have it turned up and down. You have it the vertical.
Yeah, that's why I keep adjusting it, because I really can't see myself. But
no, we can see you fine. Yeah, no, you're centered. You look good. And can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right. I'm just curious how this works. I don't really know exactly, but what would happen if you take your phone and turn it sideways? Will it auto adjust and put you at the same ratio as I am, or you don't know?
I don't know. The thing is,
it's in a set location.
I'm not proficient with this.
Okay.
I'm new at this.
No. And that's wonderful. And so I was going to let everyone know that my mom, we call her Gigi, is the newest of all of the Morrow Hill creators. And she's got herself her very own channel. I'm sorry I'm laughing, Mom. This is just so funny to me. But my mom has decided to go the Facebook route. She's not really a YouTuber, and that's nothing wrong with that, Mom. Facebook, has always been good to me and Jamie. Did you find it? Oh my God, Jamie found something she's going to send to me. But Mom, give me 1 second. Everyone, give me one moment. Jamie's going to send me something real fast. Okay, and I hope this is the right one. This is one from my school, right? From years ago. Okay.
I did the whole video.
Okay, that's fine. It's about 3 minutes. Oh, good. Okay, so, and I have received it. Thank you. Good. So happy Cinco de Mayo, Mom.
Thank you. May 5th.
Do you know why Cinco de Mayo is celebrated, especially in Mexico, but even in a lot of regions around the United States where there's a large Hispanic influence?
I think it must be something like our July the 4th, like some kind of Independence Day or something.
So I bet that a lot of people feel the same way, but I'm going to show you all an educational video. It's going to take 3 minutes. And this is a skit that my students performed, I would say probably, 15 years ago. And I think Jamie just screen recorded it, and I'm going to play it for you all right now. So, Mom, you may learn something from this if you'll watch. You got a few minutes to give? You got a few minutes, huh?
I'm ready, yeah.
This should be fun. I got to find it. I have to locate it.
Okay.
This might be it. All right.
This land is beautiful. Look at all those farms. I see pig, horses, and other kinds of animals. Look at all the rivers and lakes. I bet they're full of fish. Whoa, there are a lot of tall trees and a lot of wild animals. I would hunt here.
I will hunt here.
I Chihuahua. I see beautiful señoritas. I'm in love. And look, I don't even see an army. All I see is a bunch of old men and women.
Old men and women.
This is it. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. It's a day that the Mexicans will never forget. Let's crush it. Let's get them.
That was it.
I loved it.
Now, let me see if I can find a way to close this out now there. All right. So that actually brought tears to my eyes in a weird way because that was a flashback of a long time ago.
All your kids. Yeah, that was all your kids.
Dude, I miss that about teaching. But no, so believe it or not, Cinco de Mayo, we celebrate that because it was the French, not the Spanish. Now, Mexico had already won its independence from Spain, and they were their very own country. And it was the French who thought, you know what, they've been weakened from their Spanish, the Spanish War. And so they're going to just sneak in and take them over. And it was the Battle of Puebla, where it was nothing more than farmers, old men and women who were alerted to the French coming ashore, and they put up such a resistance that it ended up making it to where the French ended up backing away and giving the Spanish the Mexican army time to group themselves and put up a natural defense. And so, believe it or not, Cinco de Mayo is not what we all assume with the independence from Spain. It's actually a particular battle, the Battle of Puebla, which is what kept them free from being taken over by the French. And a lot of folks didn't know that. And so
I didn't know that.
No, most people don't. And so that was a skit that we performed with I think those were probably third graders. Wow. A long time ago, back at one of the first schools that I ever worked at. And, the funny thing, Mom, I'm sorry, I'm feeling, I'm sitting here emotional. I've not seen that video in that many years, in 15 years. And I just had kind of forgotten those days.
Yeah, all those things come flooding back.
Wow, that was powerful for me to watch that. I love that. And that's the beauty of putting things onto social media. Mom, if there was not someone to have recorded that, which was me recording my students, that moment would have been enjoyed by those few students in the auditorium. There was probably a couple of hundred kids in there watching that. But now it can be enjoyed by, I don't know how many views that particular video has, but thousands and thousands of people who were not able to attend. And that's the beauty, I think, of what we do with social media. It allows us to not only record and share what we're doing right now in the here and now, but there will be people who will come along many, many years from now. And as long as there's access to a Facebook or a YouTube or whatever platform we choose to use, we'll be able to come back and see things that, and don't you wish that our parents and our grandparents, well, I mean, I have my parents doing this kind of stuff, but our grandparents, and wouldn't it be so neat to be able to see their daily lives? And and so it's really neat, the way
grandparents, especially because your parents are here, so you basically see some of their daily lives. But my grandparents, and great grandparents would have been so awesome.
Well, I think about it. So my kids are able to see their grandparents, but you guys won't live forever. None of us will. No. And then of course my grandkids will never know their their great grandparents being you guys. And so it's just really neat to be able to share what we do. And so I'm really happy to see that you have started a channel and that you're going to stick to Facebook, which is a wonderful platform. There's going to be a lot of debate. And, you know, it's funny how normally Facebookers don't really do well with YouTubers and vice versa, as far as they all want to compare their different their preferred form of social media. But but I tell you what, I cannot badmouth Facebook. They've been so good to us, and they are the ones that gave us a chance to do what we do now. And anyway, so tell me a little bit about your channel. So what's it called?
It's called Chat with Gigi.
All right, I'm going to type that in here at the bottom. Chat with Gigi. And I'm going to post that at the bottom. Chat with Gigi. And that is on Facebook.
That is on Facebook.
And so I looked this morning at some of your videos, and I noticed that a lot of your videos, so you normally do shorter videos, 7 or 8 minutes, sometimes even shorter.
They're short because I go through Facebook and I go through YouTube, and I have, you know, things that are spiritual draw me. And there's nothing on there where you can just sit down and see a 5-minute talk that can boost you up for the day. So I thought, well, Jesus has been with me my whole life. So if I get an opportunity to have 5 minutes, then I'm going to sit down and share Jesus. And a lot of people may not go for that, but that's what was in my heart. Now, when Lester first came out, everybody loves Lester and they want to hear stories. Yes, they do. They want to hear stories of Lester, stories about Daniel. So I try not to do that.
Mom, that was the old Lester. Unless you haven't heard, that was the old Lester. Yeah, they love the old Lester, not the new Lester. But
they don't like the new Lester.
No one likes the new guy. No one likes the new me. Sorry, Mom. Sorry to let you down.
Well, that's okay. Well,
I had a moment, though. I gave you a moment, Mama. We had our moment.
Well, I can use Papa's channel for telling stories about you guys and us and getting together. But if I have my 5 minutes out of a day, I want to talk about, I want to build people up, try to make them happy. I want everybody to find they're happy, which is hard to do. But if I can have 5 minutes to tell you, oh, I've been through this and it's hard, but, you know, then that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do with my 5 minutes.
Use your channel then. Sounds like you're trying to inspire folks to find a happy place in their heart, and you're going to spread the joy of Jesus through stories that have happened with you and to you and that are going on with you and all of that.
Yes, and things you can overcome, and things don't dwell upon this, you know, let it go. And just things like that, just 3 or 4 minutes of bloom where you are, so to speak. That's what I think. No matter what situation we are in, we need to bloom. So that's just kind of my philosophy on life, I think, too.
Yeah.
I've always told you guys, when things happen, there's 2 ways to handle it. Calmly or go crazy.
Mom, this is kind of like my show and I can't even get a word in.
I'm sorry. I like to talk. I do like to talk.
No, I know everyone's laughing because normally I'm the one who lets no one talk. And finally, I've been kind of like waiting and just biting my tongue. Like, when do I get a chance to talk here? I'm kidding, Mom. I'm joking with you, obviously. Listen, I'm about to die of thirst, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions to see how well you know me. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. So first things first, and do not read the comments, Mom. Do not read the comments.
I can't even see any comments. I don't know if they're liking me or not.
Well, take off your glasses just in case, because I got mine on too, but I put mine. All right. Mom, do you know? Now, this has not been a forever thing. This has probably been in the last 4 or 5 years, but your son has quite a horrible addiction. I do, and I've admitted it, and everyone knows I have an addiction to
Dr. Pepper.
Oh my God! Yes. So my mama is on to me. She knows.
And look in my fridge, Diet Dr. Pepper.
Okay, I did not know that you would know that about
Yes,
me.
I know that.
So then I will go ding, 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 ding. Now
I get
listen,
a prize.
I have another question for you. What I'm going to do is write it down because I don't have one to show me. Now my drink is obviously right here. I can show that. But here's one that people may not know. And I'm wondering if you remember, because I'm going to write it down over here. There used to be a meal. Don't say it yet. There used to be a meal that I would ask you to cook for me more than any other meal. It was my favorite meal you've ever cooked. You would do it often on my birthdays or on special events. And then if you would do it for a Sunday dinner, you would always say, hey, I'm making beep. What meal is that?
Well, that might be stuffed bell peppers.
Oh my God, look what I wrote down.
I can't see. You told me to take off my glasses.
Oh, that says stuffed bell peppers. You can put your glasses
there's
back.
one other thing that you have always loved, and that's big lima beans and cornbread.
I do like that's the country boy in me. I love the lima beans and cornbread. Mom, I'm shocked that you would remember that. Yes, I always have loved your stuffed bell peppers. And I'm going to say this kind of under my breath, but every person who okay, there's no secret that Lester has had, he has not had the best of luck in his relationship. So of the number, I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say it, but the number of lady friends who have tried to outdo my mama on their stuffed bell peppers have always come up very short. And I don't tell them that, but I have normally tried to force it down and never asked for that to happen again. And I still always resort back to mama's stuffed bell peppers. So you make the best stuffed bell peppers. Tell me why. What's so special about yours?
Well, I put minute rice in it.
Minute rice?
Rice. I do. I put minute rice in my stuffed bell peppers because that's the way my mom made them. And she made something called porcupine meatballs. That was hamburger with minute rice. And it all cooks, so you make a little meatball. So when I started making stuffed bell peppers, I thought, I want these to look kind of porcupine-ish. So I started putting the minute rice in it. And when you get the minute rice mixed with the hamburger and all the other seasonings, it's so good.
So you're telling me the secret to your stuffed bell peppers is that you don't do the long cooked rice, you do minute rice.
Minute rice. No one else puts rice in their stuffed bell peppers. You won't find anyone else, I don't think, that puts rice in their stuffed bell peppers.
Well, I didn't know that, but also what I really like is the way that you bake them, and across the top, I guess it's the cheese will sometimes get crusty, but hard, and I love that. It's hard to sometimes get into, but once you're into it, I just open the entire bell pepper, let all the ingredients together, and man, those are good.
Yeah. I also use tomato soup instead of tomato sauce.
Oh, okay. Well, then there's a couple of things that people, if anyone wants to impress me with a meal, it's stuffed bell peppers. I'm going to ask you one more question that I know that you're not going to remember.
Okay.
But I made a really funny video about it a couple of years back. It was the most embarrassing thing that you guys, you especially, ever did to me, and you probably don't even know it. And it has to do with shoes. Do you happen to remember any story about shoes and how embarrassed I was?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
They were called British Knights.
Oh my gosh. My fake BKs. I put fake BKs.
Yes, we didn't know because we didn't know anything about designer stuff. And somebody told me you can get British Knights at the flea market down on Aldine, Westfield Road.
Yeah, down towards Houston.
So we drove down there. Oh my gosh, he was so proud of those British Knights. They were beautiful shoes, but we didn't know that on the bottom of them, real British Knights has a BK, and his didn't have them.
So obviously, people, I probably assume they know that there are knockoff brands, And that was something that we were not familiar with when we were younger. I would say we were very poor. We were a poor family. And so we struggled. And so getting things like a designer shoe, a British Knight, would have been unheard of until someone let us know, hey, they sell it at the flea market.
The flea market.
And so we drive to the flea market, and sure enough, there's those British Knights, and that was a popular shoe in my day. And you guys helped me. I pick out a pair, and man, the next day at school, I get to first period. It's 8th grade, by the way. And immediately the kids begin to call out that, hey, those ain't real. Those ain't real. Those are not real. And I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, they say BK right here. They're British Knights. And all of a sudden, the entire class there was no focus on math or social studies, whatever it was. Instead, the whole focus was, let's see how we can tell what are fake and what are real. And so then I had to sit there the entire day in my fake BKs. I don't think I ever wore them again.
You should have called Mama. She would have come and got you and brought you more shoes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh. I can tell another shoe story.
Okay.
We used to shop at Kroger. It was like a huge Walmart.
Okay.
And we went there, and you wanted these white nylon shoes.
Oh,
and
no.
I told you.
I know this story. Go ahead.
I told you, Lester, they are not going to last. They're going to get so dirty. And you had to have those white nylon shoes.
Okay, they weren't nylon. It was like a pleathery material.
It was.
I don't think that's nylon. Is that nylon?
I don't know.
Rubbery?
No, it was leathery on the bottom with the real pretty nylon top.
Okay, yeah.
You got home, crawled through the barbed wire fence, and slid those shoes all the way up the side.
Yeah, man, I tore them up. And you said it was going to happen, and I said,
I knew it was.
I'm going to take care of them. And as soon as I got home, I went through a barbed wire fence, and I lifted my leg up, it grabbed the barb and it put a slice right down my brand new shoes. And then one more thing that I think is one of my wonderful memories of childhood is what we would do on my birthday when I was still in school. Do you remember what we would do on my birthday?
I would always take you to Hughes. It was a Catfish Kitchen.
It was a buffet, yes.
Yes, it was there in Livingston. It was so good. They've closed down now, though. So
yeah, they went out during the pandemic, shut them down.
Yeah, but it was awesome, and they just kept the fish coming as much as you could eat. It was just so good.
Yes,
so very good.
It was good. Yeah, that was something that we did, I would say, for probably 10 years. From the time I was in probably middle school or late elementary, all the way through high school till my senior year, we would go eat at Hughes Catfish Kitchen, and I would get either the catfish or the shrimp, and you would get the other one, and we would share. We would mix
share. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
That was fun. We need to find another catfish place and go.
Well, I found one, but you probably wouldn't go. Jamie and I go to the casino here in Livingston.
Oh well,
hold on, but we don't go to gamble. We don't go to gamble. They don't have tables. All they have is the little slots, which are fun for Jamie. But they have the most amazing food, and I can go, and they have gumbo and just the most delicious food. But I don't picture you doing casino. Do you think you'd enjoy that?
No. When we went to that, where did we go? The summer, me and Ben went.
Y'all went to the real big one right there. Babe, what's it called? The Golden Nugget? No,
the Golden Nugget. Yeah.
Oh, that's in Vegas.
Oh no, that's what it was called.
Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, because Ben wanted to take me. He just wanted me to experience that. And it's everything under one roof. And he gave me $20. And I had to go by myself because he gave me $20, and I just pulled and pulled, and it was the most boring thing. There was nothing exciting about it. And I thought, well, that's the extent of my gambling. I
have a very short-lived gambling career as well. I did the same thing. Jamie and I went, and I just find I don't understand. First of all, there's too many gadgets, and with my anxiety, I can't handle all the noise and the lights and the people and it's just craziness. It's just madhouse.
I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't peaceful. It wasn't relaxing. It wasn't stimulating. It was just pull, pull, pull. When my $20 said 000, I was so happy. And Ben said, "How did you like it?" And I said, "Oh, it was awesome." Because I didn't want him to be disappointed. So.
No, the last time that we went to eat, Jamie was playing. So I went in and I sit down at the machine, and they have machines everywhere. And I accidentally pushed a button, and that was the call attendant button. And so all of a sudden the fellow shows up and he goes, "Sir, can I help you?" And I says, "No." And he goes, "Is the machine okay?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And anyway, so it was just, so now I can't even sit down. When I go, I have to stand behind Jamie with my hands in my lap because that's just not my thing.
Well, I didn't see that button. I'm glad I didn't push it because I'd have probably been real embarrassed.
I know. All right, Mom. Well, I'm going to give you a chance to just talk about your channel real fast. Is there anything, or you know what? Before we do that, let's put your glasses back on, and we're going to ask anybody who would like to ask you a question about anything. It could be related to Lester if they want it to be, or if they have any other questions.
I can tell lots of Lester stories, that's for sure.
Well, let's not ruin the video with that.
Okay.
Let's not ruin it. So questions for Gigi. What I'm going to do is put on my glasses too, Mom. And then what I can do, I can highlight questions.
Baby, I don't see any questions.
Hold on.
Mine just says you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you.
Oh, no.
That's what it says to me.
All right. So hold on.
Okay.
So here's one. So Michelle Beaumont says, "Was Lester a good student?"
Oh, good. I get to tell the story. Lester was an excellent student until he got to his senior year.
There has to be a button
teachers called all the time about Lester because he worked at Brookshire Brothers, and they had these little orange dots for clearance things. And one teacher called and she said, "Please, can I get you under control?" I think that was the high school principal, because he said there were orange dots everywhere. But this is how dumb Lester was. Excuse me, baby. He would write out his name, Lester, in orange dots. So how could he have the fact of who did that? Because I don't think there was another Lester in his school.
No.
Also, this teacher called me one day and she said, "Miss Morrow, I don't really know what this means, and I don't know if it's appropriate. No. But every time I ask Lester a question, he just
word.
And she said, "What does that mean?" And I said, I have no idea what that means, but I'll ask him to stop doing it.
Yeah, so that was during my rapping years when I was the Red Rapper. So I went through a phase. Guys, this is the late 80s, early 90s, and I was the Red Rapper. I didn't want to be Longhorn Lester in them days. Nope, I was the Red Rapper. And so I would go around and I would try to do everything that rappers were doing on MTV Raps. And at that point, they were all saying word to your mama, word to your mother, or whatever. And so I'm like, that's not hard. I can be a rapper. So every time the teacher would ask a question, I'd be like, word.
It was horrible. it was very embarrassing.
I'm embarrassed now, Mom. I'm sorry. Why did you have to bring that word to your mother? And so a lot of people, they remember them words.
But Lester was a good student. And when he started taking Spanish, his dad and I would stand there and listen to him at night. He would dream and speak in Spanish while he was dreaming. It was so awesome. We don't know if he was cussing or what, but.
So the next question, but I have to wait for a minute. People want to hear me rap. They don't think I can really rap.
Oh, gosh.
And so my best friend was named Jason. And so my raps were never the ones that I could do freestyle. I had to actually memorize my raps. Okay. So one of them would go like, was me and Jay shooting ball on a basketball court down on a street called Little York. Now, here comes some fellas from the other side. I would say here comes some brothers from the other side. You know, brothers. They want to play some hoops. I shoot the do or die. It was a long shot, and I shot wide. Jay was pissed, but see, I don't mind because I got some tricks up my sleeve. I try to tell Jay, says, man, just play some D. So here come the brothers. They moving down court. I moved in fast, but it wasn't so smart. See, anyway, I could rap, Mom. And in the bathrooms, I would really actually have people listening.
Their favorite movie was something called The Pilot.
Yes, The Pilot.
Him and Daniel loved that. And we had to go to the dumpsters behind stores and get these giant cardboard boxes.
So I could windmill. Yes.
Yes, it was funny. Yeah, how I wish I had movies and stuff of those days. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Mom, they want to know, did you spank your children?
I did spank my children.
Well, we got spanked. Now, what you would do before you would spank is warn us that you're going to tell our father, because Dad would spank. Dad would whip. Dad wouldn't spank. Dad would whip. Dad would be the kind of guy to pull the belt off from a distance. And if once you get trained in how they pull a belt off, you can hear every part of that. You can hear the buckle. You can hear the hand. You can hear the whoosh. You could hear the popping of that belt.
Oh my gosh, you're making it sound like you were tortured.
There were moments when it felt like torture. But the good thing is everyone on here who are good people today can probably say, you know what, when I was a kid, I also got spanked. Now, unfortunately, spankings are a thing of the past. But no, my mom did spank us, sometimes with a flip-flop. Sometimes
most of the time with the flip-flop, and that's what I use on the grandbabies. When I take my shoe off, they know there's trouble coming.
Kimberly says belt seems so long ago, but yeah, Kimberly, it was a long time ago. I haven't been spanked in a while, Kimberly. This was been when I was a little guy.
Jamie, he needs to be spanked.
Yeah. When Dad would get home, you would say, hey, and he'd line them up and spank them. And we'd all have to take our spankings for what we did wrong that day. But a lot of people are saying they were also spanked and they still wish spankings were allowed and stuff. And so that's a debatable topic. But hey, I'm one of those who would certainly agree with that. Because if you'll spank your kids, man, you could actually sometimes get through to them. Not beat them. But spank them. And so wooden spoons, spatulas, what do they call that? The fly swatters. You use a fly
swatter, yes.
Lord. And then, but you also had a switch. Y'all would call it a switch. You have a switch somewhere in the house.
Oh, this is horrible. It was a little piece of switch cane, just a little bitty one. But my grandmother spanked me with the peach limb. So nothing would seem too horrible, I don't think.
No. And then if we were driving, now you wouldn't do it when we were driving, but you would just tell us that when you get home, I'm going to tell your dad, and we would all become angels to make sure that you forgot before Dad got home. But Dad in the car would pull over and grab a limb. Dad would pull over and just get a limb off the tree and get us out on the side of the road and spank us right there.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God, Mom.
I must have blocked that out.
That's selective. Yeah, that's selective right there. Well, I got a couple of pictures I'll play for you real fast. Look at this. Remember this picture?
Yes.
And then the picture right over here.
Yes.
These are two of the last pictures that you and I have together from a couple of years ago. We need some new pictures because
we do. We do need new pictures.
When I went on today to find some pictures, I'm liking, okay, well, right there I had a pink nose and some little funny ears, which is from some kind of a filter, obviously. And then that right there's a good one. I like that one. That wasn't too bad.
That was good, but that was early in the morning, and I had on no makeup. And look, my hair is black. I don't like that look anymore.
Oh, you don't do that look anymore? Well, Mom, look at mine. I had a goatee, not a beard. I had a goatee, a beard, and no cap, and I wear a cap everywhere these days. You don't.
Yeah, maybe you look a little bit like the devil there with that little goatee.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, Mom. Well, I'm going to let you go. And thank you for joining the live. And everyone, remember, if you want to visit more with my mom, she has her very own Facebook channel. And it's called what again?
Chat with Gigi.
So chat. I'm going to type
And
at the
I
bottom.
don't do a lot of deep stuff because I am not a preacher. I am not a scholar. I'm just a person 74 years old that has had a lot of trials and tribulations and good things. So that's what I talk about.
Someone a little while ago said that they can never picture us being poor, but I'm going to bring up one story and have you and I bounce this back and forth as we remember it. This is how poor we were. I don't know what Dad's actual job was, but he had to also moonlight as a Plum Grove police officer, or it may have been Liberty County, but in Plum Grove, I don't know. But what I do remember is we had to use our own vehicle. And so that vehicle was
it was a Chevy Camaro.
No, it wasn't a Camaro. It was a Chevy. It wasn't a Camaro. It wasn't fancy. It was an Impala.
El Camino.
El Camino. Okay.
It was an El Camino car, but in the back it was a
truck.
Yeah,
okay.
But it wasn't new. It was
No, it wasn't new. And then the problem with it was it had a bad battery. So there was only one stop sign in all of Plum Grove.
Oh my gosh.
And Dad would pull up to that stop sign. And in those days, you could hide in the bushes. So in those days, Dad would pull up with all of us kids in the car and he'd park in the bushes. And then Dad would get over on the passenger side and put you in the driver's seat. And whenever anybody would come by and run that stop sign, all of us kids and Dad would jump out and we'd start pushing that car. Why are you laughing like that?
That's the truth.
Why are you just now remembering this?
No, I remember it.
And then
the way you're telling it is like
it was your job. Once we got going fast enough, you had to pop the clutch, and then that would start the vehicle. And at that point, all of us, and at that point, Dad would jump in, you would jump over, Dad would jump in, and then all of us kids would jump into the back, and then Dad would turn on the lights, and we'd chase down. We would chase down whoever we were at. Yeah, we'd chase down the bad guys that way.
Do you remember when Dad? I wanted a car so bad because we only had one car, and he took that one to work. So he got us this old station wagon. It would be me and Aunt Margie, and we put all 6 of you kids in the back. We'd head to Cleveland, and the smoke was just poured into the back end of that station wagon because it had an oil. We were like one white bomb going down the road, and none of y'all could breathe. It was horrible.
And then I remember that we would go, I don't know if it was once a week or once a month, but we would go to the county. They had this big county barn where we would get food. And all I liked from there, they would give us cheese my God, there was a huge block of cheese. And they had tortilla chips. And all I would eat from the entire bags of food they would give us, I'd make myself nachos. You remember that? I would make myself nachos. And now, oh gosh, those were, to this day, I would probably eat those. Those were so
but that wasn't because we were so poor and needed food, but that was just an outreach also from our church. And we went in with the county. So everybody from our church went and got food. It wasn't just, it had nothing to do with income. It was just something that they were doing for everybody. So
I remember how delicious that cheese and them nachos were. And
that was a big block of cheese, and it was real cheddar.
Yes, it was really
good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I don't remember what else we would get.
No. I know. They would give us powdered milk, and y'all make it
powdered milk.
And I hated that mess. And so you can say it was because it was just all for fun and games, whatever, but it was not fun and games drinking powdered milk. I am not a powdered milk drinker.
I even tried to mix the powdered milk with whole milk so it would go further. And finally, we just gave up on the. Gene said, look, both these boys play football. They got to have real milk. So
yeah, we needed milk.
We were never without milk or Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, milk and Frosted Flakes. That's good. Well, Mom, you have taken up, because you just ramble on so much of my, I get 1 hour, Mom. I get 1 hour, and you have rambled on for over 45 minutes. But I'm kidding with you.
I got one more funny thing to say about you.
Oh, my God. Okay, what?
One day I got up and Lester was so sad, which was not, Lester was always a morning person. And I said, baby, what is wrong with you? You're not even, you were about maybe 13. And you said, I had this dream. God wouldn't let me go to heaven because the yard wasn't clean.
Oh, yeah.
That was Lester's responsibility. He was the oldest son. He had to keep the yard clean. And he did such a good job, but he dreamed he couldn't go to heaven because the yard wasn't clean. Every time I see something in the yard, I think about that dream.
I just thought about something that I hadn't thought about in years, and it was the time that we didn't have enough money to buy me.
Oh, gosh.
We didn't have enough money to buy me football cleats, but Dad worked for the school. He was teaching, and so the varsity coach sent a pair of shoes over that Dad could give to me. Do you remember the problem with them shoes?
No.
They were green.
Oh, gosh.
You forgot this story?
Yes, I can't remember that.
Okay, so only so at our school, they would have the school would give players certain colored cleats to wear for certain games. If we were playing on turf or if you're playing on grass, the different shoe styles are different. So the only cleats he could find were a pair they had from a couple of years earlier. They were still fairly new, and they were green. And so when y'all brought them home to me, I'm like, I'm not wearing green cleats. No one wears green cleats. That's just the dumbest thing ever. And Dad's like, these are real shoes. These are worn by some varsity players. And when they played so-and-so. And I was so embarrassed. So y'all had to take white shoe polish and literally dab the polish all over the shoes. And
my gosh.
You don't remember this? Y'all literally.
But I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Y'all literally painted my green shoes
Some things
white.
I think I block out.
That does happen. So, all right, Mom, it was fun talking to you. Thank you for really embarrassing me in front of my people.
And, I've got more.
No, we're going to stop for today.
Okay.
We're going to stop for now. But I love you. And I
love you.
Nice seeing you. And I'll talk to you guys later this afternoon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye, Mom.
Do I cut myself off now?
I'm actually going to boot you. Sorry, it sounds mean, but I have to boot you from here.
Okay, boot me, baby.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
All right. That's my mom. That's my mom right there. And yeah, she is, boy, that's my mom. Listen, she did start herself a channel, and it's called Chat with Gigi, and it is going to be on Facebook. So if you're a YouTube only person, that's kind of you to wish her success, but no, she's not going to really do the YouTube thing. She's just going to stay with Facebook because she knows Facebook. And when you get to a certain place in life and you become familiar with certain things, it's hard to switch to other things. And so she's not concerned about ever doing like us and making it a part of her, make a living off of it. She just wants to find a place where she can talk about life, share stories like she just did. She's going to try to keep it Bible-based and try to tie things back into scripture. And she says that if she only has one thing to offer the world, then she's not going to offer the world, oh, today I have this, and oh, my back hurts so bad, and I just have a migraine, and Papa's driving me crazy, and I can't stand the way. No, she's not going to spend these years of her life offering the world complaints and complaints and complaints. She's going to try to offer the world something positive in stories and, life lessons and stuff like that. And so I admire that. And so if anyone wants to go hang out with Chat with Gigi, there's a couple of channels named the same thing, but you can't miss my mom's channel, y'all. It's very obvious. You'll see her smiling face in her little logo. And I think she even has some of the grandkids as her backdrop. But I will say this, before you guys ever start going over and subscribing to other channels, just be aware of all the fake channels that are out there. Make sure the channel you're subscribing to is real. I know that when you get to a certain level, Facebook, YouTube will give you a blue verified check mark, but it takes a long time to earn one of those. As a matter of fact, only I'm a Survivor Facebook and YouTube have earned one of those. No one else, as real as we know our people are, no one else has earned the verified mark yet. And so it does take time. It takes a very large audience, and it takes, I don't know if it's years, but it takes a long time of content to be able to earn that verified mark. So you know who we are on I'm a Survivor, Facebook and YouTube. It's been verified, but other channels, they really do have fakes and scams. And so just be aware of that. Know and always make sure that you're watching the right channel. None of us are going to do contests and give away prizes. I felt horrible for a lady yesterday who messaged and said that she was on Jake's page and she's being scammed. Someone had created a whole page that had Jake and Lissa. It had their backdrop. It had all of their face and all looked the same. But guys, people copy and paste that. People can copy and paste, and they can Photoshop in. So don't be fooled. You know that if someone's asking for money, don't do it. Don't do it. No one here needs your money. No one is going to, well, I'm not going to say they're not going to ask for different events, but don't be giving your hard-earned money. You work and you've earned that money. And I promise you, all of the creators on Morrow Hill are doing very well for themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and remove a couple of things. At the bottom of my screen, I know you can't see this. I have a whole lot of things stacked up that I wanted to show. I do want to talk a little bit about what's going on around the Plum Grove property. And Jamie can jump in at any point. Jamie, are you busy? Jamie's going to go on a call, so I'm going to attempt this on my own, but you know that I'm not always the best at putting things into words. So hopefully if she hears me going off too far, she can jump in and help out. So everyone knows that there are some major happenings around the farm in the fact that Ellie and Megan are moving full-time to the farm. Brienne is living in the barn dominium at the farm. Jamie and I have moved just about all of our stuff that we're going to bring over here to Longhorn Lester's here. And then we have left things that we're going to move to the barn dominium. But we can't move things to the barn dominium until Brienne gets all the way set up in her new home. And that her home is now there. But when you buy a double wide mobile home, there's a lot of things that have to go together before it's livable. And so it will still be a couple of weeks more than likely before Brienne can leave the barn dominium. At that point, we'll move our things into the barn dominium. And so Ellie and Megan, Jamie and I, Brienne and Laramie with family, everyone will be set and established. But the reason I say that is because there's a lot of confusion, and I don't understand what's so confusing unless people are not getting the full message. Jamie and I are still, I'm a Survivor Sanctuary. Jamie, myself, Ellie, 3 very prestigious business professionals, along with Uncle Dan, all set on the I'm a Survivor Sanctuary board. And that's a committee. And that committee has to be in place to allow anything that has to do with money, that has to do with rescues. And so none of that's going to change. None of that's going to change. None of that is going to change. I hope that I said it 3 times so you can make sure that that sinks in, that none of the executive decision making of I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is going to change. The committee is going to always do what's in the best interest of the animals. Always. No questions asked. Ever. And so Jamie and I have been a little bit, I'm not going to say hurt, but I don't know what we're doing wrong in relaying that message to you all. The day that I made the first video and explained what was going to happen and how excited I am at my age to be able to hand over an inheritance to my oldest son, knowing that he will be a full-time attendant. He will be there full time, whereas I can't. Where he will be able to spend more time one-on-one with the animals. And I say he, I mean he and Megan. You coming over?
Yeah.
Oh no.
The inheritance, though, is land. It is not a business.
Yeah. Can I say that again? The way I
Yes.
repeat stuff. The inheritance that I'm gifting to LE, even though I can't officially gift it yet because it's not even my land yet, is land, y'all. It's land.
It is a place to sleep. It's a home. It has nothing to do with this sanctuary.
And so there
Does
are.
that make sense? Like I want to delineate that. Like we have called I'm a Survivor Sanctuary a destination, a place for so long. There's
But
so
it's
much
so
more.
much more.
Yes.
I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is a mindset. It's so much more than just a location. But I don't want to delve on that part necessarily right now. I just want people to understand that even though Ellie and Megan are laying their heads there and they're going to protect the property, Jamie and I are very much heavily invested in all of the animals that are still there, which are a lot of the original survivors, those who have made I'm a Survivor as big as it is as far as social media goes. Those animals are going nowhere. And why so many people would drop out and leave the page and have so much hate and anger. What's wrong, baby?
I'm laughing. Number one, I didn't realize that I had sweated my makeup off. So I'm looking at my
You've
face
been
right
working.
now.
Jamie mowed, she mowed, and that really got me.
I really didn't know that I was jumping on here and what I looked like. And it was kind of a shock as soon as I walked up. I'm like, oh, instant regret. And second, that I'm reading the comments, people are like, it's normal, it's okay. So there's a lot of people that get it. So I don't think we have to like.
So this is how Jamie and I may differ. I take things very personal, and she allows things just to kind of roll off for the most part. And so I think that we had so at the end of the month, we get our analytics, and we noticed that we had. Now you gain every single day, but you also lose a few every day. And you can lose those few every day by general things, people deleting accounts, people moving on, and their accounts may be fake. They could have been a fake account the whole time. And so it's normal to see 20 accounts or so removed on a daily basis. We don't look at that. We look at per month. And this month that just ended, April, when we saw that we had lost 2,000 of our people, and I call them our people, meaning you all, I was baffled. 2,000, that's an unheard of number. 2,000 is a lot of people. Now, when you say, well, you got 1.7 million, Lester, stop whining. I'm not whining. I'm concerned that it was my fault in not relaying a message correctly, that 2,000 people or so decided, well, this is no longer for me. I'm only a part of the sanctuary. And if they're closing down, then I'm leaving. And that's not what's happening here. And so I went back, and you can go by each day to look at the number of people who joined and who left on any given day. And it was that day, that video that I made, the first one that had so many people. Doop, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, but I look at it as that, like, if they couldn't see that picture and don't understand it, then they have to go find something else that's much more simple anyway, because I don't feel like it's that complex. Like it's where people are putting their heads at night. Nothing else is changing. And that's why I was adamant in the beginning, like, it's none of their business where we put our heads at night, because it's not. And I just feel like if we would have never said a word, the only difference that people would see is that Ellie and Megan are around more.
Jamie's right. Jamie's right. If I would have never said a word, then all you would have noticed is that Ellie and Megan are making more videos. Ellie and Megan are there a lot more than they normally are.
That's it.
And nothing would have changed. But I feel like, and I apologize. I'm not asking for everyone to come back. I'm not. I feel like this is going to sound kind of mean, but I feel like if they up and left, that means that they had no loyalties to us. They had no loyalties to Ringo. They had no loyalties to the alpacas. They had no loyalty. No, then we're better off without them. We're better off without them. But I do need to make it clear, though, that I'm a Survivor is still going strong, and those beloved animals are still getting the best of care, and that we are
I'm
still.
not laughing.
What happened?
In the middle of all of these comments about this, somebody must be way behind me because she was all it said was, "I got spanked."
Yeah, she's the lady who's
me too.
the lady
It's
who's
okay.
saying she got spanked is probably just jumping on, and she's backed it up to the beginning to hear my mom's part about spanking.
Me too. All that matters, like seriously, this is what matters. Lester and I are going to do this whether anybody watches or not.
Hey, we were doing this before anybody watched.
Exactly. And while Lester takes it really personal, is like, I don't understand why they don't understand. That's the teacher in him. Like if a student fell behind and didn't understand, he would repeat it 50 times and go in to try to explain it differently. And so his teacher comes out right now, and I'm way more in the mindset and going, I'm over here if anybody wants to join along. And
you're like, deuces, I'm out. And you're like, I'm bye.
I'm going to go to my garden. I'm going to go chase Dixie out of the woods, which is where she is right now. I'm going to, go sweep off the patio. And then in between them, I'm going to do my Zoom calls and all the things. And that's life. And I feel like some people relate to that and some don't, but you can't keep drilling it in to people who obviously want to be here and get it. So. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just reading this one thing, and we'll talk about this over here for a minute. I probably shouldn't.
Probably shouldn't means you shouldn't. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that you should just let it pass by. I don't even know what you're looking for.
Well, the comments were going by so fast, but I just think that sometimes you need to defend yourself, and you don't think I should.
Today. No. Here's what I'll say. I'm a Survivor Sanctuary is bigger than a physical address or a place. It is Lester and I. It's all of you. It's people who have overcome and survived, and we were able to tell those stories. Some of those are animals. Some of those are human beings, and it's about the community that we've built around it to be able to make people feel that they're not alone and that there is hope, and just to acknowledge that we're all trying to do the same exact thing in life, which is survive. That's it. And that's I'm a Survivor Sanctuary.
I'm a Survivor Sanctuary as far as the Plum Grove property is an amazing property. It's beautiful. Jamie and I, after Hurricane Harvey, took let's just call it a blank slate. We took a flood ravaged piece of property and built, just a piece at a time, built a really gorgeous place there. At first, the first 3 years of that was living out of the barn dominium, we call it now, the barn house that we converted. And then, but with the blessing of having so many folks who supported the page, we were able to redo fences, and we didn't cut any corners. We did great fences, a little bit crooked here and there when I was working alone, but we did fencing. We made sure that all of the animals that we were going to bring into the sanctuary were going to be able to live their very best life with the best of water, the best of protection from the elements. We would plant grass seed when we needed grass. We would plant, you do all that you do for your animals.
Oh, we had the best of the best when it comes to vet care.
Farrier work. I mean, whatever the animals needed, they got. And I don't foresee any of that changing. What happened was there were some animals that were not really living their best life at that property. I'm going to say that again. There were some animals that were not living their best life at that property. So the name that comes to mind, most of you are going to call out two animals, Tex and Carl. Tex and Carl were not living their best life. As a matter of fact, they were living a horrible life, and they deserve so much better than that. And so we did not realize at the time that we got Tex or Carl how miserable they would be. But Carl was a liability, not only to the other family members, the Morrows, but to all of the church kids, to all of the people who would drive up and down our driveway just to get a sneak peek, all the hands that would go into the pasture. And so we tried fencing. We tried no trespassing signs. Guys, I think that those of you who've been with us long enough know the struggle that we've had at I'm a Survivor and trying to keep it secured. But it was a property that was never built to be able to keep people out. It was just open in every direction. And a church to the front that has youth kids, and it's hard to tell 12 and 13-year-olds what you can't do. And when the teacher doesn't look, they do it anyway. And so we struggled tremendously trying to keep Tex and Carl safe and keep other people safe from them. Of course, Tex, his big issue was with the other bulls. I think that anyone that's following the channel right now knows that Tex and Carl both are living their best life. And then if that's not just Tex and Carl, we have an accompaniment of other animals who are able to live their best life now. And so it's very easy to see that I'm a Survivor is great and beautiful, and it has so many positive things about it. And we appreciate the help that so many of you have given us in creating that.
But we also outgrew it. We did. We outgrew I'm a Survivor.
So let's not forget that the original I'm a Survivor, which is still to this day not my land, y'all. It's not mine. I have a home on my dad's land, the same way that Daniel does, the same way that all of us do. We have homes on my dad's land. And so by me fencing off a certain number of acres from my pasture was me just fencing off acres for my animals, the same way Jake just fenced off some acres for his animals. And at some point, we continue to bring animals in, and now there's no more room. So by us making the purchase of Longhorn Lester's was the best thing for us, so many entities, animals and human. I want to talk a little bit about the peace of mind that I get from here, the happiness that I get from here. It gets so deep. It gets so very deep.
I'm gonna let you do that. I have 3 minutes for my call.
Okay, babe. Thank you.
Y'all.
I think with everything that had gone on from post Hurricane Harvey with, I joke and I say that I have abandonment issues, which I know is no laughing matter. A man with abandonment issues. But maybe that's what this really boils down to. Maybe the fact that people are leaving without really, I don't know. But nonetheless, we are very happy with this Longhorn Lester's property. And I know for a fact the animals that are here are living their very best lives. Yet, even in all of that, we're still trying to find ways to make I'm a Survivor more conducive and a better forever home for the animals that live there. And so there are projects that are going underway right now that many of you are already aware of, where we're going to open up more pasture space for our cows. We're going to be able to open up more pastures for the donkeys. We're going to be able to let the goats finally have a place to go forage, which is one of the main reasons why they've struggled for so long over there, because all they have to eat is either grains or grass. And everyone knows this is no thing. 60% of a goat's diet needs to be from foraging, not from grazing. And so we've been doing a lot of things wrong, and we finally have made some moves with the board's approval to get all those moves taken care of. And oh, Jamie, I have abandonment issues. Anyway, I appreciate you guys who continue to love and support through the changes. And if anything, even if you get upset with Jamie and I and you can't understand our perspective in all of this, I hope you'll at least appreciate the fact that the animals are still being loved on and cared for. There's someone who's over there overnight to keep watch over them with predators and with people who may, walk around or show up. There's someone over there all the time. So both properties will have someone watching those babies all the time. So I think what it boils down to is we've expanded, we've not left. We've expanded, we've not left. And if you can't understand that, then I just think that you probably have chosen or refused to understand that. And at that point, then there's not, some people you just can't reason with or you can't talk to. And so I can't help you with that one. I got my own issues. I can't help you with yours. But nonetheless, I'm going to let you go now. I will say thank you for allowing my mom to be a big part of our life today. If you are a Facebook person and you want to go by and visit my mom's channel and see what she's all about, I'm sure she would appreciate that. And for everyone else, thank y'all for joining me and allowing me to ramble and roll for a while. Don't forget, Cinco de Mayo is not Mexico's Independence Day. It is, in fact, when the peasants, the Mexican civilians rose up and defeated the French army. That's right, y'all. Peasants rose up and defeated the French army there at a small town called Puebla in Mexico. And so that's all I have for you. So with that being said, gracias por ver el programa y nos vemos en otro día. Y todo es más divertido cuando hicimos cosas juntos. I don't know what I just said. Just Spanish began to roll out of my mouth like something crazy. Adios. I know what that means. Adios.